Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a great evening last night. It was pretty hot once again here, but again with our 30 to 40 mile an hour winds, and we need rain pretty soon. We've talked about the hard red winter wheat crop. It's inflationary when we lose that. Not so much in the United States because over half of it is exported, but in the rest of the world. And governments can lose their dictators or whoever their leadership happens to be when wheat prices skyrocket. If a population is oppressed but has enough to eat, they're much easier to control and keep within your grasp than they are if they're oppressed and can't eat. I mean, if you don't have any food, you're much more willing to march against wherever the oppression is. So it is a significant crop, especially on a global basis. So we do have rain in the forecast on Thursday and Friday. Hopefully we will get it. We sure need it. Okay, we left last night's market wanting to buy 14 to 18. The overnight session low is 20. There is no news to drive today's trading. Weakness in the stock market. Our stock market yesterday went round the globe. Don't have any news on tap this morning that will really excite the markets. The biggest news event scheduled today and tomorrow will be Yellen's testimony in front of on Capitol Hill, where she is for 2 days. And when she picks up the mic, her comments can change things quickly. So we'll have to be aware of that. Her testimony starts at 10 Eastern. I see a trading range market today. I don't think we can break it out to the upside, but I do see an upward bias simply because of the 10-year auction. Yesterday's selling in equities, probably the biggest technical event yesterday was the Russell close below its 200-day moving average. Lots of articles written about, the first Tuesday bust of the year. The stock market, though, is trying to trade up this morning and probably will retest overhead resistance in that 70-75 area. I think 75 is kind of the key number. So stock market will take the early focus. Then Yellen picks up the mic. And then to the 10-year. So this will be 1, 2, 3, and you don't move paper in a selling market, so we should have pretty good support, and that's why I want to be buyers in the 17 to 21 area, and closer to 17 we can get it, the better. Overnight session low is 20, so getting stops below 20 looks reasonable. We have all of this volume at 18.5. So 18.5 to 17 to me is a better buy than 21, but it may take 21s. I think there's a chance for them to get stops below 20, and we'll play for that getting started. News today, preliminary productivity. No one will pay any attention to, minus 1.2%. Unit labor costs. No one will pay any attention to, plus 2.8%. And there are some articles out there that companies are getting met with wage demands, wage increases. The average income over the last 6 years, especially for the middle class, has declined. Saw an interesting article, an interesting take on the state of the job situation in the United States. It was written on Amazon. It was not a friendly article. It said, one of the benefits of working for Amazon is that you can be homeless. But what that does reflect is that most of the jobs in the United States now that are being created are at $30,000 or less. So that puts indirect pressure on the economy through retail sales, what people are able to purchase. Most of the increase in credit goes for student loans so people can stay in college because there is no job awaiting them to get out with just a bachelor's degree or quickly. And then subprime automobile loans, and a lot of people now are doing 72-month loans as opposed to the used to be the worst case situation was 60 months. So it's moved from 5 to 6 years to get the lower monthly payment down, to get a lower monthly payment. So like to sell the 27 to 31 area. I do think the market has an upward bias. You can see that volume is holding really well in this 18 area, and the market is poised to trade higher as the primary dealers manipulate the market to move the paper. The knob spread widened last night. Again, the easiest play on the books to see because of primary dealer support for the markets is buying the knob spread, at least on Tuesday morning of auction week. They can't move the paper by selling the market. This is the 10-year and 30-year auction cycle, and so the 30-year will be getting extra support by the knob spread. And that's where we are. Yeah, the middle class is getting hit really, really hard, as Fitz points up there. I mean, in real dollars and cents. Things are tough. There was another article out yesterday about businesses are folding faster than they are being created, and long term this is not good for the economy, and most of the blame in the article for that was increased taxes, increased regulatory burdens. Okay, to show you the strength of the come on, get on the right page. The knob spreads come in a little bit overnight, but early this morning at 5, it was +2 to yesterday, so got a little selling on that. There should be really, really good support in this 25 to 29 area. So on the hopes that we can go a little lower, let's try to buy 25s to 29s. And we may have to raise that to 29 to 01 depending on what happens off the opening. There will be no news to help the markets this morning, so it's going to be the direction of the E-mini versus the 10-year auction. Last rotate up was 05. Then we have a high of 11, so we'll make 7 to 11, sell 1. Pretty aggressive, not too interested in the short side. 15 to 19 will be sell 2. But I think as we start off this morning, the direction of the E-mini will be the first, then Yellen's testimony, then the 10-year auction will kick in and save the market. Now, if there is going to be a weak auction, it's the middle one, the intermediate term, because they have tomorrow to set up and make for a strong auction. And sometimes we see that, but my guess is that we're going to look at the same pattern that we've had most of the year, is that 3-up auctions. Each auction will be done at a higher price, and yesterday's auction on the 10-year was done at 24.19, 19.5. So if we can buy it below that 19 area, I think we got a pretty good shot at least seeing 19, 19.5 on today's auction. Okay, gold was up overnight. Hard to say what is going on in the Ukraine, but the Russians are pushing for a delay in the elections that are scheduled for this month. The United States and Europe are pushing for the elections to go as planned. the United States is further threatened increased sanctions. But I mean, you just don't understand, or it's really, really hard to understand this administration. And who are they kidding, all these sanctions that they're putting on out there? They're up there shaking their fingers and wagging their hands at Russia, and Russia is just eating their damn lunch. And the German business community has said, enough, no more sanctions, you're screwing up our business. And so the West is really reluctant to do anything, not that they could do much. They could support the Ukraine with arms and munitions, but then that might screw up the flow of energy to Europe. So Russia holds most of the short-term cards. Long-term, Russia might be cutting off their nose to spite their face, but they certainly don't think so right now. Okay, gold, we came into it last night wanting to sell 10s to 13s. The high was 15. Our first buy in gold last night was 3 to 5. We haven't gotten down there yet. The overnight session low is 6. So we got the sell-off correctly. So we're going to leave 3 to 5, buy 1. Buy 2 will be this 98 to 1300. A lot of good stops underneath the buck. On the sell side, 13s to 15. I mean, it is resistance. That's where it is. And then we got this high volume number at 17. So 17, 18 to 20 will be sell 2. Just think we're looking at a trading range that will find support at 1300 and definitely find sellers above 15 as it stands now. That's where support and resistance are. I mean, there's no magic in our calls. We're just doing what an exchange member would do, leaning against support and resistance. Looking at the euro. It held overnight. We were trying to sell the high end of the range last night. We had a buy in the 139. 139.10 area. Let's see, we had the buy was 05 to 15 yesterday, and the sell was 45 to 55. So as we left the markets yesterday, did not get close to our sell. Did make it into our buy zone of 5 to 15. The market continues to be stronger than I think it should be, but they are telling you that there is not going to be an escalation in the fighting in the Ukraine, that the European economy is not jeopardized. So structurally, we've got this breakout from the 138.90, 130, well, basically 139 area. The last rotate down was 39.05. And we've rejected prices above 45. So here we are at 24. I'm just going to leave a 45, 55 sell out there. And then a 65, 75. Don't think we can move the market. On the buy side, we'll make it maybe a little lower, 39, 39.10, buy 1. And buy 2, 75 to 85. Don't see a lot happening due to the lack of news out of Europe and the United States today. Okay, crude oil. Today we have the inventory report. And they're looking for a build of 900,000 barrels. China and Vietnam have been fighting over crude oil, the Spratly Islands, for as long as I mean, that was even part of the conversation back in the Vietnam War. And China is very, very sensitive to what they consider And they're kind of like Islam. Once a country conquered, it's always theirs, no matter whether they can defend the territory or not. So nobody's going to stop them. Nobody's going to do anything. They can go do what they want. The United States won't back anybody. At least it appears they won't back anybody when forced to make a hard decision. So China's going to get out there and take what they want. And I mean, if I were Japan, I sure as hell wouldn't count on the United States coming to their aid if China decides to come in and take those 5 islands north of Taiwan. The United States might. They said that they would, but I mean, who would be holding their breath? Okay, we're higher, probably off this Chinese news, and perhaps the EIA inventory report today. We've got a seller at 50, so sell one, and it's just resistance. The market looks like it's pointed higher, 50 to 75, and then 101 to 101 and a quarter. Sell 2. On the buy side, 75 to the buck. And probably the easiest trade today is fade whatever the market did into the EIA report. And if the EIA report is really, really bullish, fade it twice. That's probably been the most consistent trade, is do whatever the market, do the opposite of whatever happened when the EIA report hits. Okay, on to the E-mini. Now, the press has been reporting for the last month that without a Tuesday, the Dow would be down this year. And if it weren't for Tuesdays, that's the only day that you can consistently count on a rally. So what happened yesterday? The market got slammed. So today maybe it's Wednesday. We're in a trading range. There's a seller definitely above 80. And there's a buyer in the 35 to 40 area. That much we know. Yesterday we came down, and this is 3 tests of that low of 60.5, and we weren't able to break it. So we've got a buyer 60 to 65 right now, and the issue is where is the seller, and most people are guessing 75 this morning. You can see that we had the start of the selling right here in the 71 area that took us to new lows. The last rotate up and D period stopped at 75. So this 71 to 75 is pretty good resistance.
For those of you that haven't noticed, easy right
so our first sell is just where resistance is 70 to 72, and then our second sell is 74, 76, and I like this second sell much better. It allows them to move a little bit higher to get stops above the overnight session, and it leans against that last rotate up before the market sold yesterday. Biggest thing we have going technically is right here. We weren't able to take out 60. So on the buy side, this 63, 65 area, those 64, 66 will be buy one, first time down. And then just where we were yesterday, 60, 62, which turned out didn't make you any money, but it didn't cost you any money.
Got any follow
If 75 comes out, I mean, with the right kind of news, there's no reason not to expect a retest of the 1890-92 area.
Please repeat.
It's just the way that it is.
Make sure you take a look in the file share here.
Okay, it'll take at least 15 minutes to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that right now. We'll see you as soon as I get that done. Later.